Hello and welcome to Everyday English Unlocked. I'm Edward.
And I'm Victoria. So glad you could join us today.
If you're learning English and you want to sound more natural and confident in real, everyday conversations, then you are in exactly the right place.
That's right. Each episode, Edward and I just have a good old chat, a proper conversation about a topic that we find interesting, and hopefully you can pick up some real, natural English along the way.
And today's episode is a fun one. We're talking about British culture. All the little quirks and habits that make us, well, British.
Oh, I love this topic. There is so much to talk about. Tea, queuing, the weather, our sense of humour. Honestly, where do we even start?
Well, I say we start with tea. Because, honestly, if you want to understand British people, you have to understand our relationship with tea.
Oh, absolutely. Tea is not just a drink in Britain. It's like a solution. Something goes wrong. Have a cup of tea? Someone's upset? Put the kettle on. You've just received terrible news. Tea.
Haha, yeah. Tea fixes everything, apparently.
Well, it doesn't actually fix anything, does it? But it gives you something to do while you think about the problem. I think that's the real function of tea. It's a pause, a moment to breathe.
Right, yeah. A moment to breathe. That's a really nice way to put it. And the ritual is important too, isn't it? The making of it. Boiling the kettle, brewing the tea.
Yes, and everyone has an opinion on how to make it properly. Milk first or after? How long do you leave the tea bag in to brew? It's a minefield, honestly.
It really is. I had a colleague once who put the milk in first, and my entire opinion of him changed. Just for a moment, but still.
Ha! That's very British of you, Edward. Judging someone silently and saying nothing.
Which brings us on nicely to the next thing. British politeness. Or, more accurately, British avoidance. We are very good at not saying what we actually mean.
Oh, this is so true. And it can be really confusing for people who are learning English. Because what a British person says and what they actually mean can be completely different things.
Exactly. So for example, if a British person says, "That's quite interesting," they probably mean, "I think that's a terrible idea."
Right.
Or, I might be wrong, but that means, I am absolutely certain I'm right and you are wrong. We just soften everything. We wrap everything in layers of politeness so nobody feels uncomfortable.
And the word sorry. Oh my goodness. We say sorry for everything. Someone bumps into you. You apologise. A door closes before someone gets through. Sorry. Someone steps on your foot. You say sorry to them.
Ha, yes, I've done that. Someone elbowed me on the tube once and I said sorry before they did, automatically. I didn't even think about it.
It's a reflex. And it's not just sorry. We use excuse me and I'm afraid and I don't suppose you could possibly. All these little phrases to make requests feel less direct.
Which is really useful to know if you're learning English, actually. Because if you use those kinds of phrases, you'll instantly sound more natural and polite in British English.
Absolutely. Right, can we talk about queuing? Because I feel like this is something the British take very seriously.
Oh, very seriously. Queuing is basically a national religion. You join the back, you wait your turn, you do not push in. That is the law. Not literally the law, but socially, yes. Absolutely the law.
And if someone pushes in front of you in a queue, what happens? Nothing. You say absolutely nothing. You just sigh or tut.
The tut, yes. You make a small noise, like ch, and you look slightly to the side. That is our version of a confrontation.
Haha, exactly. The loudest noise a British person will make in a public situation is a quiet tut. And everyone around them will understand exactly what it means.
Right. Now, let's talk about the weather. Because, and I know this sounds like a cliché, but British people genuinely do talk about the weather. All the time.
It's not even a cliché, it's just true. And I think people who aren't from Britain sometimes wonder, why? why talk about the weather so much?
Yeah,
But I think it's because the weather here is genuinely unpredictable. You can have 4 seasons in one day in Britain. You leave the house in sunshine, you get caught in rain, there's a bit of wind, and then the sun comes back out.
totally. And I also think the weather is a safe, neutral topic. You can talk to absolutely anyone about the weather. A stranger at a bus stop, your boss at work, your neighbour, and it doesn't get awkward.
It's small talk. And small talk is really important in British culture. It's how we warm up to people. We don't tend to jump straight into deep conversation. We ease into it.
Ease into it, yeah. Right. What about British humour? Because I think this is another one that can be a bit confusing for people.
Oh yes, British humour is very dry, and very sarcastic. We say things we don't mean in a very serious voice, and that's the joke.
Right. So if it's raining heavily outside, and a British person says, "Oh, lovely weather we're having," they mean the exact opposite. That's sarcasm.
Exactly. And the delivery is deadpan. That means a very flat, serious expression and tone. No smiling, no signalling that a joke is coming. You just have to know.
Which can be a nightmare if you're new to it. I remember a friend from abroad who thought I was genuinely upset about something once, and I was just being sarcastic.
Ha, yeah, it takes a while to get used to. But once you do, it's really funny. British comedy, like shows such as Fawlty Towers, Blackadder, The Office, they all use that dry, deadpan style.
Oh, brilliant shows. And actually, watching British TV is a fantastic way to improve your English, especially if you want to understand British humour and culture. The Office especially, even the awkward silences teach you something.
Absolutely. Okay, one more topic I really want to touch on. Pub culture. Because the pub is such a big part of British social life.
It really is. The pub isn't just about drinking. It's a community space. It's where people meet after work, catch up with friends, watch football, have Sunday lunch.
Yeah.
And there's a lovely informality to it. You walk in, you go to the bar to order, you don't wait to be seated usually, and there's something very easy and relaxed about it. Anyone can talk to anyone in a pub.
That's so true. I've had some of my best conversations with complete strangers in pubs. There's something about that environment that makes people open up.
Definitely. And if you're visiting Britain or living here and you want to practice your English in a natural setting, honestly, a pub is a really good place to do it. People are generally friendly and chatty.
Great advice. Right, let's move on to our language learning segment. This is where we pick out some of the words and phrases we used in our conversation and explain them for you.
So the first one is, put the kettle on. We used this earlier when talking about tea. Put the kettle on means to boil water to make tea or coffee. But in British culture, it also means something bigger. It's an offer of comfort or help. If someone is upset or stressed, you might say, "Let me put the kettle on." It's a way of saying, "I'm here, I want to help."
Lovely one. Next up, a minefield. Edward said making tea is a minefield. A minefield is literally a field full of hidden explosive mines, very dangerous. But we use it figuratively to describe a situation that is complicated or tricky, where it's easy to make a mistake. For example, talking about politics at dinner can be a bit of a minefield.
Good one. Now, deadpan. Victoria used this to describe British humour. Deadpan means a style of humour or expression that is completely flat and emotionless, with no smiling or laughing. The speaker acts very serious even when they are joking. It's a really common feature of British comedy, and once you spot it, you'll notice it everywhere.
Yes. And then we have small talk. Small talk is light, casual conversation about unimportant topics, like the weather, your journey, or what you did at the weekend. It's not deep or meaningful, but it's very important socially. It helps people feel comfortable with each other. In British culture, small talk is almost an art form. Don't skip it. It helps build a connection before you get into more serious conversation.
And finally, ease into it. Victoria said that British people ease into deep conversation. To ease into something means to enter gradually and gently without rushing. So instead of diving straight into a serious topic, you start slowly and build up. You can use this phrase in lots of situations. For example, I wasn't sure about the new job, but I eased into it after a few weeks.
I love that one. Very useful. And just to recap, we've covered some wonderful phrases today. Put the kettle on, a minefield, deadpan, small talk, and ease into it. Try using one of them this week, even just in a sentence in your head.
That's a great idea. The more you practice using phrases naturally, the more confident you'll feel. And remember, even native speakers are still learning new expressions all the time. Don't be hard on yourself.
Absolutely. Right, well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Edward, what a fun one this was.
It really was. I do love talking about British culture. There's always more to say. We didn't even get to biscuits, or the unwritten rules of escalators, or the art of the polite decline.
We may need a part 2. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please do come back and join us next time. We'd love to have you with us.
And in the meantime, keep listening to English, keep practicing, and don't worry about making mistakes. Mistakes are how you learn. Every single one of them.
Well said. Thank you so much for listening to Everyday English Unlocked. I'm Victoria.
And I'm Edward. Take care, keep at it, and we'll see you in the next episode. Cheerio.
Cheerio.